Hey everyone, it's Investorzilla here, and I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge that TTCF, or Tattooed Chef, has been on a super steady decline for quite a while now. I want to talk about what I think the catalysts are and why it just keeps on dropping. Alright, so there I was, eating my bowl of Tattooed Chef's macaroni and cheese, thinking, how is this stock not going to be worth $10 billion one day? How is the market cap for this company not going to be at least $10 billion one day? Then I realized the only thing I like more than Tattooed Chef food is seeing the like counter go up. So if you don't mind, please take a moment, hit that little thumbs up button, and I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, let's jump into it. Let's be super honest here. As of recent, I think the major catalyst, or at least one of the catalysts, is the news about the CEO. I don't think this is the only reason, because the stock has been dropping well before this news came out. The growth sector is just getting devastated, in my opinion. But anyway, the CEO came out and apparently sold $8 million worth of shares, valued at around $10 a share. Okay, so people freak out. The stock was around $18, 18 something at the time when this news came out. People started posting things like, the CEO thinks the stock is only valued at $10. All right, what I can tell you is that I can't find one definitive item that explains why the $10 valuation. So, how bad is this really? Honestly, I think it matters like very little. In my career, I've seen deals worked out where the shares are exchanged or sold or transferred at a predetermined price years in advance. We just don't know in this situation. But if I was a betting person, I'd bet it's more my theory than the CEO actually valuing the company share at $10. What about other things? Well, Motley Fool lists four major reasons. Yeah, of course, the CEO news with the shares being sold, but also the CFO resigning. And the timing looks like it's shortly after the CEO made that transaction. A short report resurfaced, and honestly, there's just so much negativity around SPACs, and it carries beyond Tattooed Chef. Check out Shift, for example. I do want to take a moment to acknowledge how little of the CEO's holdings actually made up the transaction. It's noted here that it only reduced his holdings by 2.5%. So again, should we really be freaking out about this transaction? So this is the official report. It's probably hard to read, but I want you to pay attention to the highlighted parts as well as the super tiny text that explains it in just a tiny bit more detail. Now the shares were transferred to cover personal debt in a privately negotiated deal. So thinking about this, was this personal debt he took out years ago? Maybe to inject more capital into the company at some point? In return, using the collateral of his ownership of the company at a max valuation in the deal. I don't know. But one thing I do know that is he should probably come out and just add some clarity around this for us. When we get to pure speculation around intentions, we end up thinking of all kinds of wild tales, when truthfully, it's probably something way more simple than any of us are thinking about. Alright, now personally, I could care freaking less about the CFO leaving this company. In the statement, it was stated that there was no disagreement with the company. They even worked out a deal to immediately vest some shares. We don't have enough information on why the CFO is leaving. But what I can tell you is most likely the CFO resigned because maybe they had personal things that came up that required them to handle, or they were not performing at their job as CFO. I've heard rumors on both accounts. Now, if they weren't performing on their job, then they needed to be replaced. And I really feel good about Stephanie Diekman, stepping in as the current replacement. Now, I can't tell if she's the long-term person in that position, but as of right now, I'm assuming that's the case. The negativity on stock twips is hilarious. I just wanted to show a few of these. I've said it before. I love beaten down stocks, especially when they have strong fundamentals backing them up. Tattooed Chef is a very beaten down stock. Now, do I think it will get down to $8 a share? Now, I would be floored if it did, but nothing surprises me with the market these days. Now, my favorite of these comments is a bearish comment saying they sell frozen veggies. Yeah, that's one way to look at them, but honestly, their food is good and it is flying off the shelves. I just want to sum it up a bit. I think the company is fine. The CEO has not lost hope in the company because of his transaction. We don't have all the information around why the CFO left, nor do we have information on how the $10 price was reached in that transaction. Remember, the shares were transferred, not sold on the market, even though the value was set to $10. Those are two very different things. Also, want to say, I just love their food. For all the hate I see around them as a food company, this company has so much potential to become one of, if not the top brand in plant based foods. All right, check out the stock today. Well, actually, it is up. Holy cow. Who knows where this will be when you look? But it did get below $16 yesterday. I think it was like at 15.40 or 15.30. Is this just a green day in the middle of a very dark red stock decline? Or are we finally reaching the bottom where we'll actually hit some stability? We'll see in time. Now, I love this company. I love the stock. I love the food. I do have about 1% of my overall portfolio in this company. I was getting a little closer to 1.5% when the climb started. But here's what I have in my Robinhood account. I'm currently at 300 shares with an average price of 19.93. So I'm down pretty dang big here. I also have one single call option for a 22.50 strike price in December 17th of this year. I do have some in my M1 Finance account as well, as part of one of the pies that I have put together there. I've also been tempted to buy Tattooed Chef in my Fidelity account, but I haven't pulled the trigger there yet. Now, I could be wrong, and I'm just getting caught up in my love of the food. Maybe the financials, maybe the growth of the company has me missing something about this company that other people see. But if this company isn't worth at least three times what it is right now, 5 years from now, I would be shocked. So I'm buying more. I'm committing to picking up another 100 shares over the next few weeks. And I may not stop there, especially if it keeps declining. Anyway, let me know what you think of Tattooed Chef. Are you buying? Are you selling? Are you holding? Do you like their food? What food have you tried? I'd be very curious to hear. As always, invest safely and see you next time.